Hello, hey guys, and welcome to another Ask Me Anything question. This is the section of Sound School where you ask questions, we try to give answers. I'm here with Alexia.
Hello.
How you doing, Alexia?
I'm fine. Thanks for asking. What about you?
Doing great. Still waking up. So, Alexia, what question do we have today?
We have a question from Giuliano.
Hey, Giuliano.
Hey, Giuliano. And he is asking, why can I understand you even when you're talking fast, but with some other native speakers, I can't? Of course, he's speaking directly to you.
Okay, cool. So let me give you a quick correction, Alexia. When you say other native speakers, I'm hearing other. So remember, this is the schwa sound, o som do schwa. Other.
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 You're still saying ah.
Other.
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 Just like the word mother.
Mother.
Other.
Other.
Better. Okay, so just so I understand the question clearly, he's saying when I am speaking, when he is listening to me, he can understand more or less everything, even if I'm speaking quite fast. But with other native speakers, he has a much more difficult time. Is that what you understand? Yeah. So this is a comment that I receive all of the time, and I have a couple of theories about it. Alexia, do you have this same sensation? Does this happen to you?
Yes, of course. For example, when I watch a TV show, and I'm already used to that actor, the way that he speaks, or with the entire cast, of course, it gets easier because I'm already used to them, the way that they speak, the way that they say it.
Exactly.
And when I change and I start a completely new TV show with different actors, I'm always like, okay, this is weird, and then I get used to it.
Yeah, exactly. So I have the same thing in Portuguese, that I understand more or less everything that Alexia says to me. But for example, even if I'm talking to one of your friends who probably objectively speaks Portuguese very, very similar to you, my comprehension immediately decreases like 25%.
Yeah.
So this is my theory. I don't have any scientific evidence to prove this, but the more you speak to someone, the more you listen to someone, the more you are familiar with their voice, their intonation, the words they use, the way they speak those words, and the more comfortable you are with them, that improves your fluency quite literally.
Yeah, but I think that happens a lot as well. Even if I am talking to someone in Portuguese that I'm not used to and has a different accent, if it's a really, really different accent, for example, from the north of Brazil, that they have different expressions and different slang.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, it will be not hard, but it will be different. And maybe I will understand 95% and not 100%.
Yeah, so I think there are two things happening here. One is you really have a lot more exposure to the way the person speaks, so you will understand certain words, and you just have a much better feeling for the intonation, the stress, the way that the language actually sounds when they speak, because you're more familiar with it, you're more used to it. And then on the other hand, I think being really comfortable with someone and knowing what to expect is a huge, huge deal. So for example, when I speak, you understand more or less everything, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And when my parents speak, you understand a lot. Maybe a little bit less, but you still understand my parents really well.
Yes.
And my parents speak an entirely different kind of English than I do. They use different words. They have a much stronger accent. And you still understand them perfectly simply from the exposure.
Yes.
But for example, if you were speaking to a random person on the street and it's the first time you're meeting them, I believe you would have a lot more difficulty understanding them.
Yes, and my trick is like, I'm sorry, what? Can you repeat, please? And then it gives me more time to understand what this person is saying, because this person will have to repeat everything. And not because I'm showing this person that I couldn't understand, but it was something like in the situation that I wasn't paying attention that much, you know. So it's a small
Right.
trick that I have. Even with your friends, if we are at a party or at a concert and they are talking to me, I always say like, sorry, what? And then I can really, really take time and understand it better.
Right. Especially in the beginning, if you're having difficulties understanding someone, it's always good to ask a lot of questions. Give yourself a little extra time to feel more comfortable. But I think, who asked this question? It was Juliano.
Juliano.
Yeah. So there are kind of two different strategies here. I think it's a really good thing to listen to someone that you understand really well and that you feel comfortable with a lot in the beginning, because it's much easier to learn because you can make progress a lot faster, right? You're understanding a lot of information, you're having a lot of exposure to the language. But after you feel really comfortable and you hit this point, you kind of hit this level that, okay, I'm understanding almost everything that this person says, but I'm still having difficulty with other people. That's probably a good indicator that you need to be exposed to other speakers and other accents. And then there is this tendency that when you are exposed to more people speaking in slightly different ways, that you just have more context for everything. And eventually, any new person you meet, you will be able to compare and kind of triangulate their accent with anyone else that you've already met.
Yes, exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yes. I was remembering that you always said to me that the perfect voice and the perfect intonation in Portuguese for you is from my cousin, Melina.
Yeah, I love Melina's voice.
Melina is amazing. She's a perfect Portuguese native speaker from Brazil that I would choose to tell my students to talk to. It's amazing.
Yeah, she has a very sweet voice. So just one last thing to finish. I think most people imagine, because I receive this comment a lot, that they can understand me, but they can't understand other native speakers. Most people think this is connected with the fact that I speak Portuguese and I'm speaking really slowly as a teacher and very carefully choosing my words. I would say part of this is true. Like if I'm teaching, I will maybe sometimes unconsciously choose words that I know Brazilians will specifically understand. Maybe I will slow down just a little bit, but not much.
No, you are not that much different when you are talking to your friends or just with me.
Yeah.
When we are not working, because we are talking.
Yeah,
every
I
single
just
time.
wanted to mention that because everyone talks about that, and I think it's kind of a false belief that that's the reason people understand me. I do think it has a small effect, but like 5% compared to the 95% of just exposure and feeling more comfortable.
Yeah, I think you are good.
Cool. Does that
Okay.
help?
Yes, it does, of course.
Awesome. Thank you very much for the question, Juliano, and we will be back with another question soon.
Okay.